All right, guys. First up, as always, good day. I'm glad you're here. So today we're going to be continuing on with the French Revolution. If you remember from last class, basically, um, King Louis is told that, hey, the Bastille has been torn down, the prisoners inside are released, and the people are basically not revolting, but they're starting a revolution. Okay. So we're going to analyze the Great Fear. We're going to examine what the Women March was, and then we're going to create an argument on whether public officials should have to take a test to see if they are qualified to take office. Okay. All right. So here's your warm-up picture. All right. This question is asking you for you to analyze this picture and tell me, where do you think these women are going? And yes, they are all women. Okay. I know some students have said, well, the guy looks like a man right there. No. Okay. They're all women. Okay. Look what they have in their hands. Look what they're carrying. Things like that. Um, Look how they're dressed. Tell me, what do you think? Analyze this picture and tell me, where do you think they're going? Okay. What are they planning to do? All right. So think about it. Write your response. Okay. Because we're moving on in 3, 2, 1. All right, so here's the thing. King Louis XVI basically heard about the revolution and he was really scared and he felt he could no longer trust the royal troops to shoot at the mob because of what happened earlier. Like I said, told you, a lot of these troops basically just, let the mob go, let the people, you know, take over like Paris and things like that. So he's like, yeah, they might they might not shoot into the crowd. Well, because the thing is too, those troops, their cousin, their mama, their brother could be in that crowd, you know, or one of their comrades, one of their family members could be in the crowd. And they're like, yeah, no, no, no. So a lot of them did not shoot into the crowds and let the crowd basically take over. And with that being said, revolts broke out all over France, everywhere, big towns, small towns, you know, and the people, the peasants, basically had enough. They were tired of centuries of being held down by the rich, being told, no, we know what's best for the country. We know what's best for everyone. We deserve all this. You get nothing. You pay for everything. You know, it's for your own good type of thing. So with that, this became known as the Great Fear because now 26 million people going against basically 500,000, that's not even a fight. Okay. And yeah, a lot of rich people were scared. So word was spread that the lords and nobles were trying to actually hire foreign troops to come into France to squash the rebellion or the revolt. Um, they would try to send messages to like Germany and Russia and Spain and things like that. But here's the thing: who's going to deliver it? The lords and nobles? They're not going to do things themselves. They don't know how to. They've always relied on the peasants, the helpers, who were peasants. So no one delivered the messages. you know. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie The Dark Knight Rises with the one with Bane and Batman. But in that movie, they give a great scene where Bane basically tells the people, you know, tear down this prison, go to these rich houses, bring them out, drag them out of their homes. Those are your homes. They've squandered you guys too much. They've taken advantage. This is last of them taking advantage of you. And that's exactly what happened at this point. People were breaking into the houses of the rich and the land of the homes of the lords and nobles. And thing is, they didn't go after like gold and jewels and necklaces and stuff like that. No, they went to the lord's study room, the place where he kept his records of who owes him money. Which peasants owe him money, which peasants haven't paid him back yet, things like that. They went to those records and burned them. Okay, because before the lords and nobles could be like, well, so and so owes me money. Here's a contract where he signed saying he's going to pay me back at this time, and I haven't received payment. I want you to lock him up. They could do that because you signed a contract saying that you were going to pay back, and if you didn't, you're going to have to work it off in prison. You know, so now without that paperwork, without that documentation, if they try to go to court, they can't say, well, oh, he did. Trust me, he took my money. He said he's going to pay me back. Well, where's your proof? It's gone. So then that becomes hearsay, and that's not accepted in court. Because then the other anyone could say anything at any time then. Okay. So that was a smart move on their end. Okay. The other thing too was the French guards, the guys who were protecting the capitals and the the main you know centers and things like that. They did one of two things when they saw the mob. They either did one, they just looked at the whole mob coming at them and go, "Nope, I'm done," and just walked away. Or they did the other thing where they just like opened doors, opened the gates, and said, "Here you guys go. I'm going to join you guys." You know. Now some students said, "Well, did any of them fight back?" Yes, but you have to remember, if you have a group of 100 people and you shoot your gun at them, and these guns, remember, they only have one bullet, and it takes 20 seconds to reload it. Do you think that you're gonna be able to knock off all of them? No. So, um, yeah. So that's what happened. Now, August 4th, 1789, the National Assembly decided to abolish all legal privileges of the nobles and clergy. Again, for centuries, they got away with everything because they were nobles and they were part of the clergy. So they could do no wrong. And the people who had to pay for their crimes and things like that were the peasants. You know, they had a lot of privileges. And now the National Assembly basically said, you don't get any privileges. You do something wrong, guess what? You're going to jail. On August 10th, the Declaration of Rights of Man and Citizens was adopted. Okay. Now, basically what France did is they looked at the paperwork of the English Bill of Rights, and they looked at the Americans' Declaration of Independence and went, damn, these are good. Let's just copy it, but let's just change a couple words here and there, maybe mix it up a little bit. But basically, they copied the English and the Americans' documents. You know, I'm sure you guys either seen it or you've probably done it yourself. Looked at a paperwork and said, "Man, this is too good. I gotta copy this." You know, so basically, they laid out the liberties of the people. That people not only did they earn it, they deserved it. Okay, in which liberty, which is freedom, property, self-explanatory, security, feeling safe, and resistance of oppression, meaning no one could keep you down and make sure that, like, oh, you are beneath me. I get to do this and this and that, and you don't get that. No one could do that without your permission. No one could say, I am above you. No. Okay. And that goes to the first thing that they were talking about in there, that all men are free and equal before the law. Okay. This was huge because, again, for years, noblemen and clergymen could get away with murder, basically. We're seeing it as like you can't touch them. Well, not anymore. The next one, appointed public officials should be based off talent. Because, again, before how it was like, well, who's your dad? Is your dad a nobleman? Is your dad a clergyman? Well, then, yeah, then you can be one if he is. If he wasn't, then no, 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 no. You can't be a public official. You can't be a senator, a mayor, a governor. None of that. Just because your dad wasn't a nobleman or a clergyman. Okay. The next one, freedom of speech and press. So again, it's nice to have that ability to say, I don't like what the government's doing, without the government people busting through the windows and through the doors and stuff like that. It's nice when they can do that. The people deserve that. The other one, no group should be exempt from taxation. So everybody's paying taxes. If the poor people got to pay taxes, the rich people got to pay taxes, and the churches. Now, with all that being said, King Louis XVI goes, "Ugh, all men are created equal? No, 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 no. No one's equal to me. I am the king. You know? No, 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 no. That whole thing of, you know, we're all equal. Sorry, I'm the king. No. And freedom of speech? You want to say what you want? No. No, you can't say anything bad about me. I'm the king." So he refused all their stuff, all their decree. And he and his family basically are away from Paris. They're actually in Versailles, which is like 20 some miles away. And all these French women, like thousands of them, were really, 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 really angry at King Louis. And they basically got all kinds of weapons: uh, broomstick, lances, pitchforks, swords, muskets, pistols. And they marched from Paris to Versailles. That's where that Warmup picture came from. And they basically knocked on his door with like cannons and stuff like that, armed to the teeth. And we're like, we need to talk, sir. And they told him, we have children starving, because there's no food, there's nothing to eat. And Louis like, oh, I'm sorry, guys. I wish there was something we could do. There's a food shortage. And they're like, bull crap, you guys have so much food in the royal, you know, God, just I had the word in my royal pantry. We know you guys store food, flour and things like that. We could use that to make bread to feed the people, feed our children. You need to give us that food. And besides, also, you need to come back to Paris and show support for the National Assembly. What they said, you should agree to it. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I have a 4 foot, 10-inch mom. Okay, she's a tiny lady. When she gets upset, like really angry, man, I can feel the heat, the burn she can like gives off because of her anger. Imagine that. I'm sure you guys know some older ladies were like that. Now imagine that times that by a couple thousand. That's how many women were surrounding him and telling him, pointing their fingers, things like that. Yeah, you think he didn't buckle under the pressure? He did. He did. And that's what happened. He on October 6th, he came in his carriage, as you see in this picture right here, and they brought wagon loads of flour. Huge wagon loads of flour. Now, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but yeast and flour, very little yeast and flour can make, some bread, make a good amount of bread. So all this flour and yeast that they're bringing is going to feed a lot of people, you know. And the thing is, too, the king, the queen, and their son, now that they're back in Paris, they're basically prisoners in Paris. And that's going to have an effect later on. All right, so here's my question to you. Do you think our public officials, like our governors, senators, mayors, do you think they should take a test to see if they're qualified to be in office? Like, do they know what their job is? If they're running for that position, whatever it is, mayor, governor, senator, president, do you think they should take a test and know, like, what kind of stuff do you have to do for your job? Are you smart enough for this job? You know, can you handle the pressure of this job? Things like that. So do you think they should have to take a test beforehand, or you think no, 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 anyone should be able to run for those jobs if they want it? So what do you think? With that being said, guys, That's the end of this lesson. So hopefully you learned something new. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Okay. So you guys take care. You be safe, and I'll see you later. Okay.